What's going on, guys? Jake Tiesler here. I wanted to show you some things that I found out about the 2018 Mustang transmission and why some people aren't that impressed with the manual. I figured out a couple things on these. The website fordnxt.com. There's a couple cool articles there. Also, the automatic transmission when Beefcake Racing ran down the track. There's something I found out about that. There's a cool website that I wanted to share with you guys, and then something kind of random that I found out from another car review. So first things first, the 2018 Mustang, if you remember, I did a review a little while back, and I remember Roman driving it from TFL car, fast lane car, and I remember him kind of just doing a second gear pull in the manual transmission car, and I just kind of thought to myself, you know what, it doesn't seem like it pulls that much harder than the 15 through 17, because I have one and I watched the way he pulled through the gears and I thought, it doesn't look like all that extra horsepower and torque is really showing itself, and I figured out why, and that's the case. So basically, over at fordnxt.com, if you read their articles, now if you know the manual transmission on the 2018 Mustang GT was revised. They use different synchronizers. They also use different gear ratios in the manual transmission. Another thing is they have a dual mass flywheel, and then they did a couple things different with the clutch. So the clutch is a little lighter feeling. So basically it all feels better when you're driving it, apparently. But what they did is now it has two overdrive gears in the 6-speed manual transmission. So 5th and 6th are both overdrive gears. So they bumped up the compression ratio and they increased the horsepower by 25 and the pound-feet of torque by 20. And the only way that they could do that and still keep the fuel economy was to add double overdrive. So and essentially what they did is 1st through 4th gears are now longer gears. So when I was watching this, I was like, oh, it doesn't seem like it's pulling that hard. And the reason is because the gear ratios are now different. So, you know, I'm not that excited about that, and that's just probably another reason why I would get an automatic, the 10-speed automatic, if I was to get a 2018 GT. You know, I have a manual transmission now, and the gears are really short, maybe a little bit too short for around town driving, but regardless, the new transmission in the 2018 Mustang would be great for forced induction. So if you're going to do a big supercharger and you want to make lots of power, those the gear ratios, the way the gears are spaced, would make it to where you're not shifting as much. So if you have a big horsepower car, you're not going to have to change that rear end axle. So the rear end gear ratio. So that was kind of interesting. Also, for NXT, I found a car that ran 850 at 164 miles an hour, still using the automatic 6-speed transmission from the factory, which I thought was incredible. I didn't know a car could run 850s on the factory transmission. Pretty cool stuff. Now, if you remember over at Beefcake Racing, they ran, I believe it was a 1089 right here, at 129 miles an hour. And that was with a 150 shot. Now, if you read the full article, you can read the full article. Essentially, they were not spraying it through the shifts, and that was the question that I wanted to know is, like, can the new 10-speed automatic hold all that extra horsepower through the shifts? Because I know in drag mode it doesn't pull back the throttle, it actually pushes through. So, you know, if you get a tuned automatic, I think that's what they do also, is they let that torque go all the way through. So when it hits, it's like having a shift kit. If you remember those older cars where you'd have a shift kit and it would spin the tires through the gear, they increase the line pressure in the transmission, something along that. It's a little different than newer cars, I'm assuming, but regardless, basically they're pulling the nitrous on the shifts, and he says once they get that straightened out, they think they're going to run 9s in their car with a 150 shot and some sticky tires and drive shaft and couple other things. So I thought that was super interesting, and it looks like it's going to be a beast, but more to come on that. Now, another website, if you don't know, that I really like is called BringATrailer.com. So this is essentially a website where people list their cars. I think it's somewhere between 50 and $100, and it's mostly collectors and automotive, really kind of niche automotive enthusiasts that list their cars, and you can bid. It's an auction style listing. So, and this is just the car that I popped up today and made me want to share it, was this 2012 Mustang Boss 302 with 13,000 miles. You know, the current bid's at $15,000. Now it has about 6 days left, so you have plenty of time to bid on this if you're interested or you just want to check out these cars. I've never bought one on here, but they do a very thorough write-up on each and every car. They try to get very good, high-quality pictures, and they have a professional writer, it looks like, write all of these ads. So they try to get the information as much as they can. The Carfax, really good, well documented. If there's any dings, dents, scratches, or body work, the VIN number's up. And then what you can do is read through the comments, which is pretty cool to read. You know, it's just hilarious. These older guys are on here. I bought something 1973 or 2, and you can just read all their stories and kind of hear other people who are collectors talk about rides. And then there's always stuff that's very interesting over here. I mean, like, these Porsches are getting really popular. They've been really popular past few years. These air-cooled Porsches, you can watch them go for crazy prices. Here's a Land Cruiser. That's kind of cool. You know, oddball stuff. You know, and if you're not into this world, which I wasn't either, you can learn and you can start seeing, oh, this is that car and this is how much they go for, and I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that these were rare. I mean, here's one of the classic Arc 7 turbos. This looks like it's a left-hand drive. That's an American. Anyway, so you can go through here. This is in California, and they'll ship them. And this, you know, it shows the receipts, all the little work that's been done to them. You can really just get in and look at all these different. So it's called BringATrailer.com. I encourage you to check them out. They also have a search function, so you can search through what was sold, how much it was sold for. So if you don't know, a really good way to figure out your vehicle's value if you're trying to sell a used car is to look up what it actually sold for at an auction, because that will tell you the market value immediately. You can go to eBay and previously sold and look it up that way also if you want to know the value of something, because the value is, you know, what it actually sells for at an auction. That'll give you a pretty strong indicator. Last but not least, I thought this Kia Stinger was interesting. I'm a big fan of underdogs, and this brand is kind of bringing itself up through the years, and it looks much better than it has in the past. And it's got Michelin Pilot Sport tires, Brembo brakes, 360 something horsepower, 50 something horsepower, and 370 pound-feet of torque. And it goes 0 to 60 in about 4.7 seconds. And you can get them at like $39,000, and then you know how much these depreciate. So you'll eventually be able to get them for something probably around 35, down into the 30s, high 20s within a year or two. So anyways, there's some pictures of some modified ones on here, and I thought they looked really cool. I don't know where it's at, but alright guys, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, check out my other videos if you're in the Mustangs, 2018 Mustang, and smash the like if you appreciate the video or the content, and subscribe if you want to see more. I post videos every single day with the latest Mustang and automotive news that I find relevant. So check back in tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good one.